Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is a review of the Xiaomi Mi Drone, and this is the 4K version. How do you know that this is the 4K version? Well, you can see that on this here are the goldy metal, and we have goldy propellers, and there are gold here on some places. So that's how you can see that this is a 4K version. This is a kind of cool drone. It's not that very new. It actually existed been out on the market for quite some time, and but I think it's actually one of the good ones. It works really good. At some points. I will get into that later. So some important features on this drone is that it has GPS, of course, in here. And when it comes to, I don't think there is a GPS in this controller though, but I think it has, when it is connected to the cell phone. You do have to need the cell phone if you find it or it won't work. It also have altitude hold, return to land, 4K camera with 3-axis gimbal, Waypoint Mission, orbit mode, droning mode. It can auto land and auto launch, and it has FPV and an app that you can control some of the features the drone has through your phone or a tablet or something like that. It also has a battery, as you can see here. The battery is 5,100 milliamps. Let's see here if I can film that. 5,100 milliamp. 77.52 watt hours. That would be also it says, and I don't know what the first number is, but it says 15.2 volts, and then suddenly it says 17.4 volts. I'm not really sure which is which, to be honest, but it has 4 cells. You can check the charge in it by pressing this short time like this, and it would lit up with 4 dots. In the bag you're also getting this controller. You can control the charge in the controller with just pressing the button like so. You're also getting the charger and the micro USB cable and the Wi-Fi dongle. And of course you get this 3-axis gimbal 4K camera. You get 2 sets of props. That's 4 in each set. But at the moment you can't fly this one. I actually needed to buy some extra parts. For instance, a new USB charger, because the chargers that followed with my Sony phone wasn't strong enough. You need a 3A type charger or higher, and the 3A charger would have output on 5 volts to 12 volts, so it would charge this kind of faster, but this is a slow charging controller, but it lasts for quite a long time. I also need to have a special cable for the charger. If you're in Europe, the charger that follows in the box here do not work. You have to have this type of charger, and then as you can see it needs to be this type of connector. So I still can't fly it because I need a USB-C cable as well to connect my phone to this one. So now I am complete with everything that I need to get this baby up into the air. Other things that is good is that it's a modular system kinda. As you can see, you have just pressed that battery in and it's all good to go in a sense. To remove it, you have to press the button down there and just pull it. It's kind of tough to do. I have to press kind of hard. And to remove the props, you just pull these top hats on the props to the right, and you just lift it off like so. The same, you do this the exact same way on all props. And you do the same thing when you're connected them to the motors again. Then you have to pull the top hat to the left. The funny part is that this leg are foldable. You just press the button down there and then pull down, and the same on this side. And then you can remove the camera like so. And in the camera we have a SD card, and you see it's getting very, very flat. You can also remove this, which I'm pointing to. It's the sensors and the camera to maintain the hover on the correct spot all the time and height. So the only thing you have to do is to just pull everything together again. You see it's a little, you can see it, little thing there. You just press it down there and just do that. You have a click, then everything. You move those legs up, turn it around, and then to do the props, there are gold on this one. You just press it down and you have to get it kind of deep, and then you pull it like that. Do it one more time, the gray one. You have to pull it down quite a lot and then screw it to counterwise. And then you do that on the two rest. It actually do not take that much time to actually get this drone up and flying. To activate the drone, to just press the battery in here in the back and really check that it actually is inserted correctly, and then press 2 times, one short, one long, and it activates. And you can see the camera moving down there. And how to shut off, you turn off the drone, you do the same thing, short, long press. So you can fold this baby. The problem is with this thing that is actually made for the Chinese market. That's why you don't get everything. The support is kind of bad in a sense. It's not easy. If anything gets broken, you have to fix it all yourself. In a sense, you can get all the spare parts to this drone without the batteries. It also has a good range. I flown out 1.5 kilometers actually. I think it can go further, but I live in a place where it's many Wi-Fi routers out there, so I didn't succeed to go further. But it's not a thing. I mean, I usually fly in line of sight anyway. But sometimes it's kind of fun to fly kind of far out. So to activate the controller though, you can do like this. You just press it short and long. And now it's activated. You turn it off the same way, short and long. I should show you more how to do this thing, how to connect the drone when I get out later on here tonight, I mean, to maybe fly a little, because it seems to get really, really nice now. So we get to the cons. I actually kind of think the cons, to make this look a little better, because it's not a bad drone, I take the cons already now, so you don't hear the cons later on. So outside of China, it's really, really bad support. It's tough to get batteries, but there is no problems to get spare parts. Everything you can get. You can get the legs, the camera, the controller, the charger. You can get the Wi-Fi dongle and the cable to the Wi-Fi dongle and the props, and even the body and the inner parts of this drone. But the battery is really, really tough to get. And if anything broken up, you have to fix it yourself. That's one of the cons. Another con is that it has a very, very long charging time. Even if you're using this stronger charger that has more output than the one I used from the beginning, it could take several hours to charge this controller. If the battery is almost drained out till the point that it's very, very little, it can actually take a whole day to charge this thing. So if it takes that long time, don't be scared. It will eventually be charged. But if you don't wait until, if you see that it goes down to 2 or 1 dot here, then I think it's actually a kind of good idea to charge it anyway. The compass calibration is really, really tough to do on this thing. It's not because I think the compass itself is kind of sensitive. I think actually Xiaomi made the app in the phone too sensitive. So Xiaomi tells you that you should do this thing, you should turn this around like so, you know, 3 or 4 times, and then you should turn it upside down, you know, the normal procedure, and only that, and then you should be okay to fly. It's not the case. You have to actually do turn the quad around on 4 axes in a sense. So you have to do like this here, then you have to do like so, then like so, then turn it upside down, and then turn it like so. So I shall show you later on how to do that. Another thing is when you launch, thanks to the compass, it sometimes is a little cranky about how to lift off. The easiest is to just point the drone to the north. And if you do that, it will kind of unlock itself. It's not that hard to do, and if you know exactly how to do it, it takes maybe 20 seconds or something like that. But it is an issue that I think Xiaomi should address. When it's high velocity winds, like really, really tough winds, it has a very, very strange effect on the flying. It kind of flies, so you kind of get a little scared. It has a tendency to do a fast turn hovering to the right, like so, and then back again. You do like this, and then back again. And sometimes it seems like it's tumbling a little in there, like it's, yeah, like it's kind of, you know, when you're going and yeah, almost falling when you go over a stair or something like that. A fumbling move, but it seems to always manage that tumbling in the air anyway. But when it's really, really good weather, it has really, really good and stable flight. And that tumbling thing usually only surfaces when you're landing. Even though it lands very, very slow, it usually shows when you're landing. So if you move a little forward, it kind of gets a little easier to not get in those tumbling things. When it comes to Waypoint Mission, I actually think it's not a good idea to activate the Waypoint Mission up in the air when you're flying, because you actually have to launch the drone from the ground, and there you have to put out the Waypoint Mission. It, for once, could happen anything. It could just fly away and take off. And the battery actually drains when it do that quite fast. It would have been easier if they did like the Hubsan or any other drones that is standing on the ground. Then you kind of put in all the waypoints that you want the drone to go at, and then submit the mission, then launch the drone, and then activate it. It would be a much safer thing. But the Waypoint Mission works really, really good. And one of the good parts with it is that you actually can control the drone while you're doing this Waypoint Mission. So in a sense, the drone is doing the piloting and you are controlling the camera. Kind of like DJI that has possibility to a pilot controlling the drone and the camera pilot, kind of. And another thing that I have problems with is the tilting camera. Sometimes the horizon is tilted a little, usually to the right. So it kind of tilts this way. And that's not very, very fun. It sometimes vanishes, but most of the time there is a tilt. What's the positive with this thing then? Well, the build quality is great. I mean, it's plastic. Don't get away from that. But it's plastic, but it's good plastic. Even the drone feels sturdy and everything. And the props, yeah, sometimes maybe there's a little shakiness here, but I don't think there is any problem with that yet. It has really, really good range. Sure, I heard that people can get like 4 or 5, between 4 and 6 kilometers with this thing, but I actually only managed to get 1.5. And for me, it's actually not that bad. I mean, you shouldn't fly that far anyway. So if it flies over 500 meters, I'm okay with it. So I give it a really, really good range. The video control range is also kind of good. It's actually the same as, in a sense, the range of a controller. So even if you are 1.5, the video signal is kind of good. Sometimes there are some artifacts in there, but yeah. The camera is also very good. I think it has a very stable picture. If we don't speak about this tilting thing, it's actually a very, very stable picture. It's sometimes I have seen when I've flown it in strong winds that the drone is kind of moving quite a lot. It moves quite a lot, kind of like this. But the camera seems like it's not moving at all. So the gimbal is really, really good on this one in a sense. It flies really, really stable when it's no winds. It depends on how hard the winds are. In some winds, even hard winds, it can fly quite good. But it's when there comes this very, very strong southern winds, like dust winds and something like that. It has a good flight time, I think. I usually just fly 20 minutes. So when I have flown that, I have around 34% left on the battery charge. Even though I have started it 80%, perhaps around 85-90%, something like that. It has a good battery time. So I think you actually could get around 25-28 minutes of flight, or maybe even 30. But I shouldn't recommend to fly over 25 minutes at least. The GPS works really, really good in this one, I think. It's precise. It still have not landed somewhere strange. It always got back to me where I am. And it works flawlessly, just like all the GPS features like dronies and orbital mode and all that. I haven't checked out the drone yet, but I hope I might be able to do that somewhere later in the future. Perhaps now when I'm out, I'm not sure. It's a little tough to make here because I don't have that much space to actually do a drone, I think. I like its modular design. It's really, really good. I mean, it's as I showed you, it's easy to remove everything on the quad except for the battery, and it should be not easy to remove the battery. So it's still very, very tough to remove from here. And this thing that you can actually fold the legs is kind of cool. And as I said, in the cons section, there are lots of spare parts to this product. This drone, you can in sense get everything that this drone needs. But if you're outside of China and live in Sweden like I do, the battery is a problem. There are places where you can actually get the battery, but I think our customers service here in Sweden, our customs, or whatever it's called, with the border, so those that take care of the border, they don't accept that we take batteries in because of the risk of explosion and stuff like that. So what do I miss here? Well, I do miss Follow Me mode. This is the only drone I have that don't have a Follow Me mode. But anyway, it doesn't have any sensors for avoidance anyway, so maybe it's a wise thing not having. But it would be nice to have both those things. So in a sense, it's not the DJI killer. If it had those sensors like avoidance sensors stuff, it could have been, but it's not. Oh, I've forgotten, it's actually kind of fast. If you turn off the GPS and just fly in AT mode, you can actually fly as fast as 60 kilometers an hour, kinda. And that's kind of fast. So what do I think about this? Worth buying? Yeah, I actually think it's a great buy. I give it thumbs up. And why I think it's a good buy is because that if you know that the support is bad, but you know how to fix things anyway, and there are lots of spare parts, you can actually fix it. If not, the battery breaks down, by the way. But if you can get all the spare parts that you need, you can actually fix this baby for yourself. By yourself. If the body breaks, buy a new body, like, kinda. So if you're okay with that, but that it has a bad support outside of China, then buy it, because it's cheap. It's really, really good drone for that money. But if you're not okay with bad support and all that, maybe not knowing how to fix the drone if it breaks down or something like that, then maybe it's not a drone for you. It do have some troubles when it comes to liftoff and stuff, and if you don't know how to get around those problems, maybe it's not a drone for you, as I said. Then DJI might be better, DJI Spark with DJI Mavic and something like that. But if you are prepared that this is a cheap drone, and with cheap drones there are stuff that you maybe don't have has reach of, like good support, then it's actually not bad. It's not a bad drone. I'm really, really liking this drone, and I'm really impressed with this drone. And this drone cost me around $440. It's around 3,800 Swedish crowns. So I will do a little flight review later on, but this is my first review of the drone, and I give it a thumbs up anyway. So there you have it. It's a good drone. Bye.